Okay, so this is Scratch 3.0. So you go to Scratch, however you get to Scratch, scratch.mit.edu, it's there. Please make sure you've signed in. So if you don't sign in, you're going to have a world of trouble. So always sign in. Yeah, I remember my password. Okay, so you go to Create. And this is how it looks now. So this is quite different from Scratch 2.0. So this is Scratch 3.0. As usual, we've got our cat. So if you've used Scratch 2.0, the cat's not new. That's their logo. Now, you can see here that the XY axis is quite clear, and you can see here that the cat in the middle is on X0, Y0. So this is maths, it's the Cartesian plane. So this is the Y, that is the X. If I move the cat, you can see that the X and the Y have changed because the cat is now in a different spot. All right. So if I want to add a new sprite, I go to the Add a Sprite button. This is backdrop or stage area. All right, so new sprite, new backdrop. So if I go to a new sprite, I can choose a new sprite. I can choose any of those. I can load a sprite from one that I've saved from the internet. I can design my own. Surprise, I think just means it gives you one. Okay, that's cool. So, or you can paint and draw your own. So drawing your own is pretty much the same as before. There are a few features that don't exist anymore. So if I pick up the paintbrush, here's my colour. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. And then I can just draw whatever I want to draw. And then you can see I've got that sprite. Okay, undo works as normal. If you want to fill bucket, so you've got to do, a square, it'll fill it and colour. Be careful now they've got outlines on these assets, on the sprites. So just be conscious, do you want an outline or not? If you don't want an outline, you choose that. All right, and it will remove the outline. That's really important for coding purposes later on, particularly if you're doing touch colour. All right, so now we can go to backdrops. We can choose a backdrop. We can choose blue sky, and then you can see that the background's actually changed. So they're kind of some of the new features. You can change the name of the sprite. So we go to sprite here. This is called sprite 1. We'll call it cat. This one here we'll call football. We'll put player. All right, this will come up as sprite 2. We can call this purple sprite. And there you go, that's how you do it. You can change, it tells you what size and what direction it's facing and things like that. If you want to resize it, you're actually going to have to code it. So if we go to looks, we can change size. So we can change size to 50% and it will make it smaller. So that's how we do that. So you can't shrink it anymore. You used to be able to shrink it in costume and now you can't. And this is costume. We can make a new costume. So if we choose a costume here, we can choose Abby A. We choose a costume, we do Abby B. Choose a costume, Abby C. Let's choose Abby D. Now, I'm going to delete this first costume. So now I've only got Abby. Let's delete that sprite. We don't want him, so we press on the cross. Now for Abby, if I wanted to do costume changes, I could do an event. So when the flag is clicked, forever, switch, let's do next costume. Then I could do wait 1 second and then do next costume. And now if I click the flag, Abby changes. So what we can do there is we can change how fast Abby does that. So I could make that 0.5. And now she's moving. We can make that 100% so we can see her. There you go. And that's how motion works. Again, we can do that with the cat. Let's press stop so Abby's not doing that so she doesn't drive us crazy. We've got cat. If I go back to here, if I click and drag that to cat, it will now appear in cat. No, it doesn't appear in cat. It should appear in cat. Hey, now it appears in cat. So, cat should have 2 costumes. Brilliant, cat has 2 costumes. So now if I press play, they both move. Cat's a little jerky because cat is doing 2 big movements. So you'd need to make this movements more subtle. So what I mean there is that's one costume, that's another costume. If we had one in the middle, it wouldn't be so jerky. Okay, so that's just some costume changes there. So if we're going to make them move forward, we can do forever. You can see here I'm clicking on different controls. So sensing does touching and things like that. I'll do that in the next video. So controls, we do a forever command, or actually no, let's not do that. Let's do a repeat command. So when the flag is clicked, we can do move 10 steps. So if we do that, cat now moves, but then stops. Odd, right? So what we can do is we could do a glide. Let's see what happens when it does that. That's a little odd. But that means you can do random positioning, means you can do random things, but it also means you can do all sorts of things. So if we do towards the other one, we press play, we're going to glide towards the other sprite. So you can do that as a defense thing in a game. So if you want the villains to always be going to the player, you can make them always head towards the player. So all sorts of different things you can do there. The other thing is you can do change X. So if we do that, the cat's going to go straight. If we change Y, he's going to go up, and well, he's going to go up. If we want him to go down, we could put a minus in front of that, and he'll come back down. Okay, so that's some basic movement. All right, in the next tutorial, I'm actually going to make a maze game and show you how to do it. Thanks.